Yeah, I thought we started the game well. Was able to get on and off the field, transition well, made some big stops early in the game. We did not finish the game well. Obviously, in the 2-minute drill, we got a lot of things to clean up. From personnel to substitutions. That's on me. I'll get that cleaned up. And our guys are motivated. They thought we could have played better in times, and they know things we did well and things that we need to do better. So that's our focus for this week. Just focusing on our upcoming opponent and focusing on what we need to do to get better each and every day.
Is all that stuff you referenced a pretty easy fix?
It's everything is a work in progress. You know what I mean? And, everybody keeps talking to me about last year. And I've said this many times that we have a different team and we're trying to create an identity for this year. The biggest thing, we got 4 guys in the NFL of our defense last year right now. And it's a great opportunity for new guys to step up. Saw a lot of things that we like, saw some things that we didn't like. So for us, it's just trying to, continue to build that identity. And as I referenced to our defense, we're at the foundation level of building something great. So we got to do things to continue to build the foundation and, play smart football and be great in situational football moving forward. Same thing as always. I think we need to tackle a little bit better and play perimeter blocks a little bit better. And we got to finish on the ball. There was a lot of positives, but guys were flying around. Art, made a couple really big time plays on third down. Jace made a big time play on third down. We lost Javarius Owens there in the game, who's kind of one of our staples in the secondary, who's a big time player. So it gave other guys opportunities to go in the game and compete. We played a lot of guys back there, Hassan, Tabo Waniki, Antonio Brooks, Garrison Vaughn. And then at corner, we sprinkled in Jalen Emery a little bit and DeMarcus Griffin-Taylor. So, collectively, I think we could play a lot better. Like I said, we're trying to mold that secondary, moving pieces around, giving guys different opportunities. So, the challenge will be just as great or even greater this week as last week. So we got to continue to get better. And that's the message moving forward is being more detailed and continue to focus on doing your jobs to the best of your ability.
Go ahead, Robert Sellers.
Thank you, ma'am. Coach Belk, I just wanted to ask a little about Jamari Caldwell. Obviously, he was a guy that came in late. We're kind of familiar with him through the process of his history or whatever, but what has he done to become in and immediately get some playing time like that?
Yeah, it's a guy that hasn't really been talked about a lot. He's still trying to figure our scheme out. He's done a great job in transition. It's very difficult. He didn't get here until this summer. But you're talking about genetically, he's very gifted. He's a great kid. He's smart. He's going to be a major impact player for us down the stretch. And I'm excited about what he's going to be able to do to help our team. But just at his size, at 350 pounds, to be able to run and move the way he does, as far as his athleticism is elite. And, he can knock the guy back in front of him and change the line of scrimmage very quickly as well. So just trying to get him cleaned up on some technique, getting him a better understanding of our scheme. But I'm really confident that he's going to be a really good player for us moving forward. Yeah, I think he's a really good player that's very talented and is only going to get better the more that he plays. 6'5", 230, has elite arm talent, can run as well. So that's always a challenge. And then when you look at him, he is the backup for them right now, but he's been a starter before. He ended the season for them playing the last 4 games. So I don't see much of a drop off. I don't see change in preparation at all. I think we got to be ready for a guy who's dual threat, who can make all the throws and put those guys in the right play and in position to be successful. So the challenge will be great, but I think he's a really good player. Yeah, we sacked him 3 times. We hit him 12 times. With this game, we knew the quarterback was going to be a challenge. He was the engine that made them go. And obviously he made a lot of good plays. And we have a high level of respect for him and the coaching staff. I think they did a great job in presenting a lot of challenges. For us, I think we have a couple of elite pass rushers that come off the edge, and we have 3 guys that could change the game at any minute. And you saw the plays that Parrish made. Caesar had the interception as well as the sack, and then DeAnthony Jones with a couple of big-time TFLs and some quarterback pressures. But, sometimes it's not as much about sacking the quarterback as much as it is affecting him. And would have liked to got him on the ground a few more times, obviously. But, to be able to pressure the quarterback 5 times, hit him 12 times and have 3 sacks, it's still a good day's work. We got to clean up a few things and we got to finish better on the quarterback. But overall, I think we did a good job. And then we had a lot of interior presence as well from our interior guys with Dot, with Said. Like we mentioned, Jamari was close a couple times, and there's enough to go around for the D-line, and I think they did a really good job. And I think they'll continue to affect the quarterback as we move forward. We just got to be creative in how we get there, and we got to do a better job when we do get to the quarterback to get him on the ground. A little bit. He missed a little bit of practice, but we rotate 3 or 4 guys to that position, and I'm really proud of that unit, especially the defensive ends. When you look at DeAnthony, what he's capable of, and the energy that he plays with, and you look at Nelson Caesar and Derek Parrish and some of the other guys that come in after them. The Dane Tucker plays some as well. We kind of got away from our 4-down rush plan in that game, and we spied the quarterback, and we gave him some different looks with 3 down, with 4 down. So those guys were asked to do something that was a little bit different than rush the passer, and we were still able to be productive. So, for us, it's about whatever we need to do to win. And I think Paris is a warrior, so we were not at all worried about his production dropping off, and he's going to play with relentless effort. Every game, he's one of the best players on our team, and he's a proven veteran on this team. So he understands what we're trying to accomplish. And I don't think the cast hindered him. I think he got comfortable playing with it, and it was kind of funny when he hit the quarterback. Cast looked like it led a little bit. So he was able to get in there and make a play that we desperately needed at that time, and Caesar was able to come up with the ball and change the game. Yeah, Say is special. As far as a person and as a player. Everything he does with an attack mentality. So the way that he plays, the way that he prepares, the way that he practices. If you think he plays hard in the game, you should see the way the guy practices. He's a standard setter, and he's been through a lot. But every time he goes through something, it makes him stronger. And I have a lot of respect for him and how he's been able to battle, and how he never gives up on anything. And so it's really good to see him in there, being healthy, being disruptive. Gives us some versatility. Does a lot of different things well. He's a warrior, and I'm glad he's healthy, and I'm glad he's on our team. And I think his production will continue to increase. The more reps that he gets and the more games that he plays, that he'll get even better. And I think he has a great level of respect in the locker room as well, so his teammates trust him. And so, when he's out there, he's looking to make plays, and he's going to play with relentless effort so we can win with him. Yeah. I think that's one of his greatest gifts. He's very intelligent. He's always prepared, and he's a relentless competitor. And I think you see that in our team. We're going to fight to the end. We're put in some tough situations, and our guys battle. And I think that's a reflection of our head coach and, his vision of the program. And, I try to take his lead and follow with that. And, as far as the 2-point plays go, between, our staff and Coach Holgerson and Ryan Dorchester and Shannon Dawson and myself, we've talked about all these things often. And I think the biggest thing with the 2-point play is that we have a philosophy, and our kids understand our philosophy, and that we're going to take the ball when we have that option, and we're going to try to go score. And defensively, we just got to continue to work on getting stops and being in the right position. But I think they understand what we want and how we want to approach those situations. And, situational football is very important. And that's the difference in winning and losing football games. A lot of it has to do with the personnel that you're facing. You know what I mean? And you can get a lot of different formations, and you never really know what you're going to get in those situations. So every team's philosophy is different. So you kind of got to dig deep and look for 2-point opportunities when people go for 2, or study the history of the coordinator to try to figure out what they're going to do. But really, you have to be prepared for anything and a lot of different formations that you can get. So really, it's just getting lined up and trying to execute to the best of your ability. But as long as our guys know the philosophy and what we need to do and how you may get attacked, I think that's the biggest key component to being successful. Yeah, I think regardless of who the quarterback is, those 2 guys are 2 of the best running backs that we'll face. Statistically, they're the best duo of production coming back in the country. So the challenge will be great. And, Brooks last year had over 100 yards rushing on us last year in a very competitive game. And Sarajic is just as talented, maybe even more. So, combination of those 2 will be very difficult for us. So knowing where those guys are in the run game. And then if you look at Thompson, he had a big play in the pass game in the first game as well. Made people miss an open field, ran a guy over, spin move, touchdown, right? And then you look at Brooks, he was able to get in the end zone a couple times. So, the moment is not going to be too big for them. They're going to be looking to be aggressive, and they're good players. So we have to do a good job of containing them, being physical at the point of attack, and don't let those guys get going because they're very capable of hurting us in a lot of different ways. And they'll find creative ways to use those guys. So we got to be ready for everything with those 2 guys. Yeah, ever since, he was a high school quarterback here and played receiver at USC, we knew all about him. But when he got here, it was kind of no surprise to us when he got here early on that he was going to be a really good player. I think he had one of the best, improvements from spring football to summer to fall camp. and he was very difficult to guard in fall camp for our guys. Very competitive, but he's very quiet, and so sometimes his ability is sneaky, but he's really fast. He's big. He's strong. He's over 200 pounds, and obviously he has really good ball skills. It's funny when you look at our players and the way that they joke with him in practice, especially our DBs, is he doesn't wear gloves and he's able to make big time catches. And he's kind of a throwback player, but he's got great size, great speed, and he's a silent killer, and he's very competitive. And I'm glad he's on our team. And he was able to come up big and for us last week on some big time catches. But outside of that, he's very difficult to contain. He blocks on the perimeter. I think he's a really well-rounded player that's only going to continue to get better and hasn't played a lot of football. So I think his best football is ahead of him, and he did a really good job for us. And I think he'll continue to do that.
Extra juice this week, but you gotta keep it, keep your mind, in the right place.
Yeah, as much as we don't talk about it, the human element is real, and I'm sure that they'll be excited for the game. But all three of those guys were here last year when we played Texas Tech, so they've already gotten a little taste of it. Obviously, going back to Lubbock will be fun for those guys, but I think it'll be fun for everybody. And the biggest key component for each one of those guys, as well as everybody else on the team, is focus on doing your job. Never let your emotions take over, and being consistent and consistency and performance is a really big key. So I think they'll be ready to go, and I think those guys are 1 year better, and they're mature. They're all older guys who's played a lot of football, so I think they'll go back and be excited to play. But I think ultimate goal is to win, so we got to find a way to come home and win. Oh yeah, it's no doubt. We've already come out of one battle victorious, and we're going to go into another battle. It's going to be a street fight in a hostile environment. But I think it creates character, and I think it tells us a lot about our team, that we're playing quality opponents early, and that are physical. They're well coached and have good players. So it's just a great opportunity for us to build, see what we got. And, I think for the future, as you get into close games and you get into playing in tough environments, it's only going to make you better, because the way that you get challenged and everything that you do is all about how you respond. So we got to be ready to respond to a good program and a good, well-coached team, and their team will be ready to go as well.